What's up, everybody? This is Pain User.
And this is HD.
And we have Game 3, the rubber match between ATN Socke and Mao's Thorzain. Thorzain.
Why do you call it the rubber match?
It's the third game, man.
I just call it the final match. Rubber, plastic, vinyl.
No. You've never heard that before?
No.
All right, anyway. Mao's Thorzain spawning as our red Terran in the bottom left-hand position on Xel'Naga Caverns. And in the top right, we do have ATN Socke. Socke winning last game in an epic fashion. Just able to... He actually lost the main engagement. As far as I'm concerned, Socke lost the main engagement right there. Thorzain came up huge, killed all the Colossus, killed his entire army, and then Thorzain tried to do this kind of haphazard push with maybe a third of his remaining army, got absolutely crushed at Socke's third.
Well, the other thing, too, was Socke actually had another Nexus.
He had a fourth.
Expansion. He had one more expansion over Thorzain for quite some time, and I think that's the other reason why he was able to basically have a much bigger army gap over his opponent, Thorzain. On top of that, we're talking about all those warp gates, man. So helpful for Protoss to have all those.
Oh, yeah. And that's... all those units just came out of nowhere. I was so surprised when I saw Socke roll in with that gigantic squad, the Chinese infantry came rolling in. I was real impressed when I saw all those Zealot Stalkers, sentries just out of nowhere. And then... he was also warping in High Templar for the storms. Those 3 High Templar, those clutch storms, able to weaken Thorzain's entire army. And I think that really brought him back into the game because he was able to just clean that up with such ease. And from that point on, he just had the advantage in army.
Can you imagine being back at Ire and being like a Zealot or Stalker and then like all your friends around you are just being warped 15 at a time onto the battlefield? You're like, I want to come too.
I'm sure. I wonder how that works. I wonder if they're all just
family
standing
members
out on a big field where like the warriors that are about to go into battle all go hang out on like a giant plateau or something, and then they just get sent in groups of 15. I wonder if there's a queue. I wonder if they have to wait in lines.
I'm sure there's a queue. They gotta like send in their resume and everything and say, I would like to fight for Socke.
I think they all want to though, right?
Well, I might want to fight for Kiwikaki. I don't know.
Oh, that's true. Or Mana. Or Naniwa.
Yeah.
You never know.
Top Protoss players. Anyways, guys, this is game 2, and it's on Xel'Naga Caverns. I do think that this is going to be a really, really good match.
It's game 3.
And this is actually game 3. Excuse me, guys. Numbers getting a little confusing here. The games have all kind of blended themselves into like one game now.
There are so
it's just
many.
Like one extended series in a way.
There are so many.
Anyway, Socke here is getting Gateway Cybercore for now and gas. Thorzain has 2 barracks, opened up with 2 barracks this time. I would not be surprised to see an early Reaper come out of this barracks with the tech lab, and he's going to use that just to scout.
We've actually been seeing Thorzain do this 2 racks opener where he gets an early Marauder and Concussive Shell, and there we go. There's the Marauder. There's Concussive Shell.
Oh.
And yeah, he likes to pressure with this early 2 racks build, and he's been able to get a lot of damage done with it. Ooh, and it looks
nice
like great micro from Thorzain here. Not going to lose a single Marine. So impressive.
Yeah.
Taking a hit or 2 on either of those.
Not
and
even
oh
losing
my
SCV.
goodness.
Oh my god, his micro Pain User is so good. It makes me giddy in my stomach. I would say something else, but I can't.
I thought that was going somewhere else for a second. I looked at you, but then the stomach came out. So, all right, we're good
Gotta
there.
keep it rated PG here, guys.
And we do have 3 SCVs about to come off the line. It looks like he is going to try and pressure here. Although back at Socke's base, we do have a second gateway and a Stargate. I think he's going to be able to hold this off. And there we have it. Thorzain is pushing out. He does get the initial concussive shell off on the Stalker. And that is going to be huge here because Socke needs every unit he can possibly get to be able to stop this push that's coming from Thorzain right now, and he is going to head across the map.
Yeah, those concussive shells are like hamstring cutters, cutting off the escape route for that Stalker. Now Socke has one less Stalker that he could have used to defend against this attack. He may not be able to get his unit out of the Stargate in time. Even a Void Ray would be quite helpful right now. Actually, no, that's a lot of Marines. I'm not even sure what he can make at this point. He's only got 2 warp gates.
I think he'll be absolutely fine here. He does have a sentry. He will be able to force field a few of those units on the low ground. He's going to buy time for this Void Ray to get out. He just finished warp gates. He's going to be able to start warping units in. And ooh, Thorzain baiting that force field, sends 1 unit ahead of time, totally baits waits that out. But this Void Ray will be out in time, and I think Socke getting his third gateway now will definitely be able to hold this off. Let's hope Thorzain doesn't commit. He will lose several units here. Thorzain being very careful, doesn't know what exactly is up the ramp, and he does see the Void Ray, and he is going to pull back.
Really good scout right there by sending the Marine up there to check for the Void Ray. Once again, Thorzain just showing me and you how to scout his Terran.
Oh,
maybe
no!
Just me, not you. Oh, the Marauder runs in there. Lone Marauder. The guy's like, Leroy Jenkins.
He got cut to pieces. That's what happened. Oh, man. Let the ground run red with Marauder blood. I don't know what he was thinking. He's like, wait, guys, I'm coming on the push.
He just wanted his chicken, man. The Void Ray comes across the middle of the map. It's hunting for more Marauder blood. Pain User here is doubled over in laughter. Looks like we have a bit of a quick pause here as both players sorting out a little bit of that lag as they're playing on the North American servers.
I am back.
Yeah, you are back. Now I can pass it off to you because that Void Ray is coming in. It's looking for more blood.
He's going to try and pick off some SCVs here at the natural. Going to get one. The Marines right there going to be able to deal with this. Socke just being as annoying as possible. Yep. Microing that Void Ray. He already has 2 kills. Oh, I don't think he's going to lose it, but it's going to be close.
He's about to get stim, you know. Well, maybe about 30 seconds to go. So, I mean, if Thorzain had stim there just a few seconds earlier, he could have been able to pop that Void Ray and get revenge for that Marauder.
Yeah, absolutely. And stim is about to be finished here. He's at about 94%. Kind of a random number to pick, but that's right about where he is.
546.
And he is going to have stim now, so if he tries to come back in with this Void Ray, there is a high percentage chance he could lose it. Thorzain not wanting to
give that.
Thorzain not wanting to burn his stim here, wants to stay, as high health as possible on all these Marines, and he might burn it here though. He is going to be able to kill this Void Ray, stimming 3 Marines right there. Yeah, the perfect amount.
Smart.
Yeah, he will be able to kill it. Oh my god.
Maybe if he had stimmed one more Marine. Oh my god, that was so clutch by Socke getting that Void Ray out of there. I was going to say for a second, Thorzain should have stimmed maybe 2 more to pick off that Void Ray for sure, but Thorzain, like we said before, the preparatory player just trying to get the perfect amount of units to get that kill.
Yeah, and in Thorzain's base, we do have him teching up here. He is working off of 4 racks right now. We have a factory on the way, and it looks like Socke might have found a sweet spot here where his Void Ray can actually attack that tech lab and the Marines without being shot. Oh, that's got to be so frustrating for Thorzain. He might be able to stop the combat shield upgrade here, or at least force Thorzain to use quite a few of his Marines to deal with this. And Socke is actually, dual upgrading right now. He is continuing to get those upgrades.
Wow, Pain User. He's actually going straight into Templar Archives after the Citadel, or after Twilight Council. I was about to call it the Citadel of Adun.
Yep.
He's going to go straight into Templar Archives, and we're going to have a quick storm research out of Socke.
Yeah, I was just going to mention how he is dual upgrading armor and charge at the same time. We do have armor 2 on the way.
Yep.
He is working off of 5 gates. He does have that Stargate. Not really going to be able to use that for anything aside from that initial Void Ray, but Socke's so smart, probably knew that 2 racks was coming, wanted to use the Void Ray, possibly crush the push, and then do a counter push with that Void Ray, and he is going to get this tech lab. No, actually moving in a little bit there, but combat shield is done, so these Marines are going to be so much better at dealing with the Void Ray.
Oh my god, Pain User Thorzain coming in here, brilliant force fields there, cutting off the Marine Marauder army exactly in half, but I think Thorzain may have enough forces here. No, force fields blocking off the Marines and Marauders once again.
Keep in mind, he did warp in those additional zealots there, so he would have definitely been able to kill Thorzain had he pushed beyond that line of force fields. But yeah, great force fields coming out of Socke right there. Almost always. Socke's so good with his force fields, one of those players, and that is definitely the hallmark of an experienced, great toss player. They're so exacting with their force fields. They can just make things happen.
They're like an X-Acto knife.
Exactly.
They'll cut. Oh man, we can just go on with this forever. Anyways.
2 medevacs now coming out for Thorzain.
Hello, Mules.
Ooh.
Thorzain there
saving up quite a bit of energy there.
Yeah, usually you want to drop that energy right away. I'm not sure if he was saving energy. Maybe
he could have been worried about DTs.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because he doesn't have any turrets at all.
Nope, not yet.
He is pushing across the center. Now he's going to pop the rocks at the gold, looking for some place for the command center to land and recuperate some gold minerals and get some money coming in. Socke, meanwhile, is getting blink for his stalkers right now. Does not have any Dark Shrine coming up, so he will be solely focusing on High Templars. And I think we're going to have just a big engagement, and it's just going to come down to the spell usage and the micro to see who comes out on top.
Yeah, we will have a huge engagement coming up here. Socke is not going to be happy about this gold being taken. He needs to do something about this as soon as possible. He does not even have a third Nexus on the way, and Thorzain looking to take a pretty aggressive macro advantage here, up one base on Socke right now. Socke going to push in here to the third, realize that it's up and running, and he's not, like I said, going to be happy about that at all. He has a small window of opportunity here before the PF gets up, but I believe it's going to get up before this battle goes down, and it's going to be very difficult for Socke to take this position.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he hesitated outside the front door there. It was just like, you're hesitating outside the door as a guy setting up the big machine gun, and it's like, I'm going to wait for him to set it up before I barrel down the front door. Not sure about that reasoning. He tries to get a storm off on the SCVs, but they managed to get out of there just in the nick of time.
Well,
and
it was so close to finishing. I feel like if he had pressed beyond the PF might have just gone up in the midst of the battle while all of his units were right on top of it, and that could have been a disaster for him. So playing it safe, he will keep most of his forces alive. He's going to fall back here. Yes, he's behind in the macro game, but he didn't just outright lose the game. So you got to be really careful when you're dealing with PFs in a situation like that, because, you know, I've definitely seen players attack into a PF and then, you know, once it goes up in the middle of a fight, like we were saying earlier, those twin Ibix cannons just aren't very forgiving.
Well, I was thinking he could have pushed in, forced the SCVs to repair the PF, and then he could have just stormed the rest of the SCVs and took out all the SCVs at the PF while they were repairing. Perhaps not. He has fallen back now, and we do have an engagement at the center. Socke here is it's just gonna toy with the Marauders for a little bit. And it looks like Thorzain will control that watchtower for a little longer as he's controlling another command center. I like that.
Yeah, he will do that, and both players sitting on 3 right now, but we do have Thorzain taking a 4th at the 9 o'clock position. He's going to sneak that expansion, and this is also a great position for that 4th base because Thorzain is going to be working on the left side of the map here. That's where he's going to try and harass Socke. That's where he's going to try and kill his 3rd. So,
wow, look at how many
and he will do that, especially when there are High Templar on the field. He's one of those players that will invest so much money into ghosts. I mean, if you think about that, that's 200, 100 a piece.
Yeah.
And look how many there are.
They're not cheap, man.
No, they're not cheap at all. If you calculate the total cost of all those ghosts, it is ridiculous. And one ghost going down immediately. Socke 100% on top of his feedback there. And Thorzain scanning his own army, taking out the obs there. Great move.
Yeah, really good move there to pick off the obs. You never want an annoying observer flying around and seeing where your army is moving. And I'm really interested to see how, when the big battle happens, how it's going to come down, because it's really going to come out to who gets the storm off first, who gets the feedback off first, and who gets the snipe and the EMPs off first. It's all going to be about spell usage here. It's like we're watching almost like advanced Warcraft 3, so to say. It's all about the spells, and I can't wait to see what happens. Socke here may actually have a window to hit this 9 o'clock, but he doesn't even know about it. Is going to engage Thorzain. Thorzain landing all the EMPs off, but the storms, the Templar is still in the back. They can land a couple storms off, but the EMP goes
Oh,
off.
no.
Oh, my God.
Storms going off on his entire army, and he is getting ripped to shreds by these Colossus. The Ghosts actually tanking quite a bit of damage here. Ghosts, a very high HP unit. They do have 100, and they are able to tank a little bit of damage here, but none of the high-tech units, well, you know, the single Archon and the 2 Colossus do stay alive. That Archon doing so much right there, and really having all those Ghosts is great. But if you can't hit the EMPs on the Templar and they do manage to get their storms off, you know, what's the point? You've invested so much money in these Ghosts and they really haven't paid off.
Well, it looks like Socke will be pushing his advantage a little bit, but decides better of it as this planetary fortress is being repaired by SCVs. I really think he could have lasered down this planetary fortress with this Colossus. I'm not sure why he decided to fall back.
I think he might be doing that right now. No, it looks like he's going to actually leave that base up and running.
So curious.
Yeah, he needs to focus on taking that out. He is down a base right now. He does not have his gold. I think he's worried about a possible counterattack at the gold or the 3rd. He's not sure exactly what Thorzain is up to, and that's because Thorzain is continually bringing it to Socke. He's bringing the action to Socke's side of the map, and he continues to kill observers. And Protoss players are so used to being able to see everything on the map that when they're playing in the dark, it makes things a little bit difficult. They have to be very careful about where to put their units because they're so immobile.
Yeah, and now he's opting to actually attack in into where the army would most likely be, which is at the gold expansion. I'm so curious why, if you're going to be cautious and not pick off this auxiliary expansion, then why move out your entire force and pick off the expansion where there's most likely to have forces? So anyways, Thorzain here is going to be able to push this away, in my opinion. Well, he does have a lot of ghosts once again, getting good EMPs off on Socke's army. And remember that planetary fortress. It's so cool. It's so good, man.
Yeah, it really is.
Wouldn't you love to have one of these like as an anti-burglary device in your house?
I wish my house was a PF.
That would be even cooler.
Right?
Actually, I want my house to be an orbital so it can lift off and fly in space.
Forget
PFs
that,
can't
man.
Fly, man.
Forget that. Well, PFs at least don't have to yield their landing space to a Zergling. Right?
Well, that's why I have SCVs as like my little minions to kill off.
All right.
Anyways, Socke here is controlling the center. Let's check that army tab right now. Both players fairly high, about 170-ish, 180-ish apiece. Income fairly even for both players. Socke here has a couple of Templars just waiting. They have the energy to storm, but Socke is not going to bring the storm down. He's just waiting for now, perhaps going to wait for an engagement before he does that. Going to be able to laser down the refinery here, and he may be able to laser down the planetary, but at the same time, he's got to worry about his gold here. Big engagement, ping user. So many ghosts from Thorzain. Zealot careens into the army, not able to do much, and the fallback from Socke as he realizes he has to defend.
Well, yeah, that not quite engaging yet. Here we go. All the Zealots running in. Both players being very cautious right now. There is so much on the line here. This is going to be one of the key battles of this game, and nobody wants to go out first. We do have a couple cannons from Socke here, and Thorzain circumventing his army. Going to be able to get in on the third here, perhaps kill the Nexus before anything happens. He will be able to kill quite a few probes here, and oh my god, Socke running his Colossus into the Vikings.
And all the Templar running in here without energy, but they are able to take out the ground army, but there's still ghosts alive. Stalkers versus Ghosts. I wonder who's gonna win. I think
Ghosts actually a surprisingly good unit. They do so much, especially when they have a medevac on top of them like that. They have 100 hit points, and wow, trying to focus down the Nexus here. Snipes going off. Oh my god, does he have any EMPs left?
So
we have an Archon coming in right now, and no EMPs going off on that. The Ghosts actually able to clean that up.
Oh, and the Storm from the Templar picking off 12 SCVs there. I was thinking about that the whole time. Is he going to land a Storm off? He does get several SCVs. Meanwhile, these Ghosts are so good, man. They're staying alive. They're using all the healthcare funding from these two medevacs to do it, but good lord, they have taken out the entire Protoss reinforcement. And hello, here comes the stimmed Vikings. It landed down.
It looks like Thorzain might be moving on to winner's bracket round 3. He is doing so well right now. He is just absolutely on top of his game, using this heavy ghost style and being so effective with it. He's now landed all those Vikings. The Colossus are out of the picture, and he's barreling down on the third of Socke right now. Socke with barely any units.
This doesn't look too good at all, Pain User. He has so many Vikings. Gonna lift him up to deal with the Colossus immediately. I mean, he's got over 10 Vikings, and all the Marines and the Marauders on the ground, as well as the Ghosts, are gonna be able to clean up shop. The Nexus explodes, and just like that, that looks like it's gonna be the end of this game. I don't see Socke winning this. And remember, guys, this is winners round 2, so Socke, he's not out yet. He will go down to the grimy pit below, which is the loser's bracket, but he's certainly not out. But things are looking very grim right now, and I'm pretty sure it is game.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Socke no longer mining. We do have a Dark Templar out on the field for Socke, but Socke, one of those players, gonna fight it out to the bitter end, trying to make something happen here. We have command centers flying all over the place for Thorzain.
That's my house. That's your house. Sadly, your house is not as good looking as my house.
But mine's at the gold.
Don't you wish your house was my house?
No.
Look, I've got all the Vikings and SCVs repairing me.
Well, aren't you popular? So
I got DirecTV dish too.
I don't know why Thorzain is not choosing to end the game here. He's not pressuring. He is continuing to macro up here. Maybe he's worried about a possible counterattack from Socke. Socke doesn't really have any units. He's barely mining at his natural. He's actually distance mining at the gold right now. Maybe just a sign of respect from Thorzain. Socke's such an amazing player. Thorzain not really sure what he's capable of right now. Obviously, we can see that Socke is limping on 2 legs. He's not really going to be able to mount a comeback here. He does have a few High Templar. He does now have a single Colossus and a DT mixed into the army, but Thorzain is looking to go for the throat here.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say he's limping on 2 legs, more like he's hobbling on like 1 ankle. But anyways, Thorzain gonna come in here to finish things off, realizes he is so far ahead at this point. Great storms going off, gonna be able to whittle down those forces, but still too much below on the ground. The Nexus for the second time today is killed off. The gold is being distance mined by the pros, that even those guys can't mine happily because of the Marines and Marauders below. And Socke is definitely not gonna be able to win this game. He charges headlong, last of his forces run in there, and he realizes that he is all but lost and types out the GG.
GG. Thorzain takes the series 2-1. Such impressive play from both players. Thorzain using this heavy ghost style so effectively. After all the Marines and Marauders are gone, the ghosts just remain in the end, and those ghosts killed so many units, continually EMPing the Stalkers, EMPing the Zealots, Sentries, Templar. He was just EMPing everything in sight, and he was using it so well. I mean, if you think about it, a ghost against a Stalker, not going to do too well, but a ghost against a Stalker with no shields becomes a different story. Add medevacs into the mix that are healing the ghosts, as you said, the health care of the Terran, healing the ghosts.
Yeah, man, Terrans get universal healthcare. How awesome is that?
It is awesome. So Thorzain will take that series. He is moving on to winners round 3. Excellent games from that series. If you guys enjoyed that series, be sure and come back to www.ign.com/IPL, and you can check out all of our social media links in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. If you can't figure that out, be sure and check out Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, justintv.com/IGN Pro League, and make sure to follow on Justin TV. Hope you guys enjoyed it. This is Pain User and HD signing out.